Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that we're going to talk about tonight, I am amped to bring you because Brandon Herrera is leading the YouTube charge in front of Congress. He just testified to Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene in the committee against the ATF's overreach. This is something I need you to send out. I need you to leave comments. This is the stuff right here, and it's something to follow as a model, and I'm amped to share it with you. Of course, everything will be linked in the description box below per usual, and I cannot wait to hear what you guys think in the comments field of his comments. Now, of course, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. We need as many of you as possible to get in here to help dispense freedom 2 times daily, and we would love to have you join us in that quest. And the content today is brought to you by STI. Now, I know a lot of you out there like to upgrade and modify your own guns, and if you're looking to turn a hobby into a career, Sonoran Desert Institute can help. Their online programs cover everything from gunsmithing to ballistics, woodworking and finishes, shooting, sports management, and more, plus all the tools and materials are shipped directly to your door. There's never been a more convenient and a better time to invest in your future through STI, so what are you waiting for? There's a link in the description box below. Check it out and there will be some free information on the way just to you. Thank you so much to STI and for making this content possible. But my brothers and sisters, we are about to hit something that I think is an incredible inflection point. Brandon Herrera, in full disclosure, is one of my favorite people. I've had the privilege of hanging out with him in multiple events. I've had the privilege of sharing drinks with him. He's one of the best people that I've met to date in this industry. Really good dude. And to hear him take this step into this right here, it's amazing to see, and I'm amped to see what's next for him. But let's get into this, because remember, this is a hearing all about the ATF's overreach and abolishing the ATF from Matt Gaetz, all right? Listen to what he says, because he says this exquisitely well. It's a defensible position, and he delivers it flawlessly. Check this out.
For allowing me a platform to speak about the ATF. It is one of my favorite topics. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms was formed about 50 years ago in 1972. It wasn't originally intended to be a law enforcement, or for that matter, a law interpretation agency of the federal government. Believe it or not, it was founded as a split off from the Treasury Department. It was formed as a sort of accounting division tasked with processing taxes paid on exactly what the name says: alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. Particularly taxes for compliance with things like the 1968 Gun Control Act and eventually the National Firearms Act. Much like many other divisions of the federal government, it did not take long for the ATF to grow and operate well past its original purpose.
So that last piece right there, it did not take long to actually, for the ATF to outgrow its original purpose. That's incredibly important, because that is the framework for the rest of his comments here, the prepared comments that he's reading. This is the entire framework, and this is important because it goes against the ATF and backs and supports something we've been saying on this channel and other channels for a long time. The usurpation of Congress through the ATF's executive bureaucratic actions is unconstitutional. This next clip I'm really excited to show you, but that's the entire premise here. He's dead on. The ATF was originally formed as a tax collection service under the IRS. It was all financial, and then all of a sudden it grew into enforcement. Isn't that weird how government creep happens like that? That's an incredibly important piece as we move forward, because the slippery slope is what he's describing. By the way, personal note, it's really cool to be breaking down and analyzing another YouTuber on these things. Anyway, let's keep going. I am fanboying because he's my boy. Let's hit it.
This was not the end of the expansion of the ATF's duties, however. The modern tactic that the ATF is exercising is expanding definitions of previously passed laws to include new things not covered in said laws. You see, the ATF is not a legislative body. It is not Congress, and it cannot make new laws. But in changing or expanding definition of laws already passed by Congress, they're essentially legislating. You see, even though Congress recently tried to reverse the ATF's ban on stabilizing pistol braces, a bill that failed, the ATF did not need any such bill to implement the ban on them in the first place. They simply made a decision to redefine them as SBRs, or short-barreled rifles, and therefore regulated by the NFA, violations of which are punishable by 10 years in prison. How the hell can repealing a ban on something require a literal act of Congress, yet the ban itself did not require a bill to go before Congress in the first place?
That is such a poignant point. How, pray tell, Can an executive bureaucracy legislate from the executive branch without any type of legislative bill from Congress and passing it by the people's representatives? But in order to undo their unconstitutional action, it takes a bill, an act of Congress. That's a great question. Questions are such powerful things. Hey, how can this happen? You don't need a bill to enact it with the power and enforcement of law and felonies, but you do need a bill to get it undone. Just that statement alone is extremely powerful. The entire point that he's going after, again, is the overreach and the government growth creep of executive bureaucracies. You can't get it through legislative actions. We'll just usurp the legislative power from the executive branch. This is what we need to have as a common part of the conversation, and he's doing it very, very well. Now, this last piece, he wraps the entire thing together, and this is the point in a nutshell.
As gun owners, we shouldn't have to worry about new gun laws who have the ability to turn law-abiding citizens into felons, especially without an act of Congress. That is why the ATF has to be reined in from the top, not only for the sake of gun owners across the country, but also to set a precedent and remind other government entities that they are not allowed to play by their own rules.
That point right there. The ATF must be reined in from the top downward to remind not only the ATF and represent the gun owners, but to remind other executive bureaucracies that they cannot step outside the confines of their legislative restrictions because they aren't Congress. They are to enforce laws that Congress passes. They are not to make their own laws as see fit through executive rule interpretation changes of existing law that Congress had previously passed. That's what they've done, and that's exactly what it is. They need to be reined in to show other executive bureaucracies that will not stand. Hats off to Brandon Herrera for making this stand, getting out there in front of Congress and the world, and also, I'm damn proud of him for doing it. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.